Hello, this is Tiffany. I'm back here with another Substack. It's been a second. I have been working on some intense and beautiful projects and moving through a lot of energy, but I'm glad to be back here. I wrote this piece titled Dignified Death is Worth Living For, a personal exploration. So let's get into it. Celebrating birthdays is such a cute ritual where we gather once a year to say, Yay, another year around the sun. We eat cake, blow candles, make wishes, and hope to do it again the next year. This photo above makes me emotional. I'm squished between my mom and dad as they blow out my 1-year-old candle on top of a chocolate cake as I look at it mesmerized. I feel something stir in me as I look at myself 12 months awake to the world, and I'm here 36 years later writing to make sense of that same world. I feel sad that the world she should have grown up in doesn't exist. I feel angry for the pain and heartbreak she will experience. I feel thankful that she had parents who loved her and cared for her the best they could. I feel relieved for her that she will find her way towards liberation for herself and others. And I feel grief, grief that transcends myself. I was talking to my friend Chi about how every month I think about wanting to come to more peace around my death from a holistic ancestral place. I want to feel connected to my death in the same way I want to feel connected to my life. She encouraged me to do just that, dedicate some time once a month to explore dignified death from the Chinese perspective. So I'm doing it now, starting with this piece. I honestly don't know that much about how my people position themselves in relation to death. My parents and my grandparents are and were Christians in the post-colonial era in Hong Kong. So most of my memories of talking about death are from a Christian perspective. Since leaving the Christian world, I'm really not that interested in carrying forward that perspective. I'm more curious about all the other generations before my grandparents. One of the reasons I put it off is because doing research about China is really hard. There is so much anti-communism propaganda, and it's exhausting to weed it out. But I'm going to try bite-sized pieces. Also, if you know of trusted sources, please let me know. I am not a seasoned researcher, and I know a lot of you are. Yeah, coming off of the text, it's so frustrating to search for Chinese research because I keep on coming up against some blaring propaganda, some a lot of xenophobia. I even stumbled across this horrifying post and account on Substack. I'm not even going to name, but it's just like really distasteful, hateful, false accounts about China and yeah, like really creepy conservative views. But anyways, back to the text. So I link this article, this PDF called Happy Funeral, Tearless Farewell by Majori Chu. And this is a quote from it. Death is a sad, grim affair, but when it comes at the ripe old age of 100, apparently it's a different story altogether. The Chinese do not mourn when an elder who has lived for almost a century passes on. Instead, a quaint funeral rites or su song, Cantonese for happy funeral, is held in his honor. Quote, it is regarded as a happy funeral because the elder is considered lucky to have lived to such an old age. No mourning or crying takes place, end quote, says Ong Set Huat, vice chairman of the Federation of Malaysian Taoist Organizations. According to Chinese custom, 3 years will be added to a person's age when he dies. So an elder who was 97 would be regarded as being 100 years old. And that's the end of my quote from that article. After clicking through 30 plus links around the topic, I found this random article/PDF that's mentioned above. It goes on to spell out how Chinese folks traditionally wear white to grieve the dead. And when it comes to happy funerals, friends and family wear red. If you've been to Chinese festivals or weddings, you know red is a color of celebration and good fortune. The article ends with this note, quote, when a happy funeral takes place, the elder is assumed to have died happily, for he has completed his mission in life with 5 generations to the family line, so he can leave this world in peace, adds Ong. And that's the end of that quote. That's dignified death. Death that happens after a long, purposeful life that followed their elders and ancestors who also had long and purposeful lives. Every day, I'm witnessing unholy death, undignified death. Death that is a result of killing, stealing, torture, and man-made, inhumane conditions, genocides, lynchings, every day. It's as if Empire doesn't care to hide its true face anymore and is training us to be numb to it all. How can we wrap our minds around 380,000 plus babies being slaughtered in Palestine? More than 380,000 under the age of 5. 300,000 plus. Like these numbers are like, it's so much more than this because this is what is accounted for. And we know that this is lower than a conservative number. But more than 300,000 parents, grandparents, aunties, teachers, doctors, journalists, and artists. Undignified death. Ever since I saw the footage of Gizma Ali Omer being lynched by the RSF in Sudan, it has been added to the collection of imaginable horror that will live with me until the day I die. The things that come across our newsfeed and the things that don't. This poem is by Sudanese poet and activist Emi Tithal Mahmoud. Eulogy. And I'm going to read the poem. Black girl writes eulogy in the flesh. They took my skin, paraded it around the town square, pinned their hatred, their desire to it. Hung it on their clothesline, fastened it over the eyes of their children so they wouldn't see me. Blanket, burial shroud, body. My mother gave birth to me in a casket. I never grew out of it. I had a dream last night. They strung me up like a psalm. But this time, the news said no. The poplar tree leapt from her place, carried me to the mother, spoiled fruit to an unknown owner. She couldn't see me. They had taken her eyes, her mouth, her feet. Run, 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 run. I've been stuck here for so long and no one came. 300 of my sisters disappeared and no one came. Black girl dies, no one knows. Black girl funeral is an empty house. The spectacle of my body is an empty threat. Black girl don't make headlines. Build no search parties. They dragged my body out of the river, and it was the wrong girl. Undignified death. Isn't it so clear? Nothing matters but to build connections, networks, infrastructure, relationships, and ecosystems for dignified life and death. When I think about how so many people of the global majority are stripped of basic dignity, it makes me want to implode from rage. The way people are disregarded and thrown away without a shred of humanity is vile. The truth is that empire air we are breathing trains us to be okay with it. That is inevitable, they say. We gotta step on people's necks to get to the top to feed our family. Quote unquote, war has always been and will continue. Just accept it. The fuck? No fucking way am I using this life, my one life, to accept that. I uphold my own dignity too much for that. Deep breaths. Look at baby Tiffany trying to eat a juicy orange. Dignity. She deserves a life full of dignity and purpose. She deserves a gentle death after a long life of dignity and purpose. She is no different from the toddlers in Palestine, doe-eyed, long-lashed angels. They deserved a long life of dignity and purpose. It's so unjust to be here fighting for something so basic. So, for my ending question, what does liberatory imagination spark in me today? I dream of dignified death afforded to everyone. Gray hair softly lay on a fluffy pillow. Handcrafted quilts of greens, blues, and pinks. The sunshine illuminates floating particles in the air like any other day. The air is like velvet. Someone is cooking a savory soup on the stove in the kitchen. Soft murmurs and bursts of laughter fill the house. Cheek still warm from a kiss. Yeah, so that's it for me for today. I hope to write about this once a month because I think that fighting for a dignified life, fighting for dignified death is everything. It's everything. We each have our own role. I have my own role in it, and I'm still discovering it and experimenting with it. But what is for sure is that, like, that's it. And the liberatory work that I am doing is towards that goal, whether it is in my lifetime or not. So, how to support me? I'm going to try something new. For those who don't know, I run a shop called More Liberation. I've been trying to experiment with more ways to figure out how to make rent. And to be totally honest, I am not. I am really struggling to meet basic bills. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to survive and how to stay afloat while also tapping into my role. So here is my new idea. I'm going to be posting a sticker here every time I write, and you can buy it from me directly. The Etsy fees are a lot, so it's going to be really, really nice to not have to pay them those fees. So the stickers that I hand make are vinyl stickers. They are perfect for water bottles, laptops, notebooks, light poles. They are, for the most part, water resistant and weatherproof, but I suggest that you treat them gently. So if you want one, you can follow these directions, and it is all spelled out in the script, and I'm not going to say it out loud here, but it's very easy. It's through Venmo. And if not, you can email me directly at tiffany@liberatoryimagination.com. So that is it for today. Thank you for tuning along, and more from me next time.